So today we're gonna do the front brake pads on a 1998 Pontiac Transport. We got some Napa pads, so let's get into it. First thing you want to do is loosen the lug nuts. Make sure you always chalk your back wheels. Now you're gonna want to jack the van up. Make sure you're in the right jack points. Slapped a jack stand under there just to be safe. Gonna keep the jack here. Got a nice light. It's time to take this wheel off. First, I like to spray it down with some brake cleaner. Get the backside. So what I did is I pre-pressed the piston in. I hooked this clamp up in here and behind the caliper there. And then I just slowly twisted it. Just to slowly push back that piston to give you room for the new pads. We're going to remove the lower caliper bolt, 15 mil. So you're just going to pull that pin nice and smoothly out. And that's our lower caliper mounting bolt. Now with that lower bolt removed, we can pivot this caliper up to gain access to the pads without removing the upper bolt. And then you just want to get this secured in place. Here, let me just show you here. I'm going to use a zip tie. I'm going to stick it through that hole. I'm just going to zip tie it to the strut here, just to keep it up out of my way. Now we're going to remove the inner pad. They're looking all right, but we got some new ones anyways. The back plate's kind of bad. We'll remove the front pad. Not terrible. Now we're going to remove the upper and lower retaining springs. They just pop right out. Maybe inspect them, but generally when you buy pads they come with new retaining springs. We'll just pop those out. So we're gonna go ahead and pop in these new retaining springs. Once you get your old ones out, they really can only sit one way. Just kind of pressure them into place, one on the bottom, one on the top. And make sure you clean out where these retainer springs sit. I use some brake cleaner. You just spray it down, let it dry, wipe it. Then you know it's clean. You can use a wire brush, but you don't really want to get that dust in you. I picked up a little bottle of brake lubricant, silicone ceramic brake lubricant. Just going to apply a thin layer to the back of these pads and any other moving metal parts like the piston and where the pads sit. Now I've got the pads greased up. I'm going to reinstall them. I've already got the inner pad reinstalled. And if you're doing front pads, that wear indicator needs to go at the top of the outer pad. So just remember that, guys, when you're installing these pads. There we go. Just going to put a little lubricant on the piston all the way around, because this is where it makes contact with the back of the pads. And make sure you also put some lubricant on this side of the caliper, because that'll be touching the back of the outer pads. Okay, now that you got your pads in, you can pivot your caliper back down into place. Just like that. Now we're ready to put our caliper pin back in. You just want to inspect it for any wear. Before you put it back in too, let's make sure we add lubricant to that slide pin. You don't need to add it to the threads. You can add anti-seize to the threads if you want. Lots of people do. Just get it nice and lubricated up. And then I'll add a tiny bit of copper anti-seize to the threads. And then we're going to go ahead and slide that pin nice and easily back in. There's a little rubber boot there. It needs to be lined up with the hole. Once you get it in there, you should just find its way home. Just tighten up this slide pin. Okay, you're going to want to torque this bolt to 63 foot-pounds. Now we can go ahead and throw the wheel back on. Okay, now we can remove the jack stand. Now we can lower down the vehicle and torque the wheels. Went for a test drive. You have to pump the brakes a couple times to get them to stiffen up again. Drives great, and so that's how you do the front brake pads on a 1998 Pontiac Transport. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, I guess.